Hello everybody, Scary Crow here, and today we are going to be setting up the 5-foot animatronic skeleton from Joan Fabrics. So this guy was sold last year at Joan Fabrics. I already did take him out of the box and set him up last year, but I didn't get him on video, so I'm going to be setting him up for you guys today. So I know I've been setting up a lot of props that aren't technically new, that I already opened up and set up, but hopefully I'll be getting a brand new prop soon that I can unbox for you guys. I'm thinking about getting the vintage Peekaboo Clown from Lowe's or the Timekeeper from Lowe's. Those are kind of my two favorites of the year so far. So tell me in the comments which one you think I should get. With that out of the way, let's unbox this guy and set him up. Alright, so I'm going to open up the box and we are going to see what is inside. I don't really remember what he looks like. So I don't really remember what he looks like. It's been a really long time. I do remember him being pretty similar to the Grimm. He is not servo, although he does have a lot of animations. If I remember correctly, both of his arms move, his head turns, and his torso turns, so he has a lot of movement. He is only 5 feet tall, so he's not that big, but honestly, it's fine. He looks pretty good, and I got him for only like $60, so he was $2.99 to begin with. But he was on sale at the end of the season, and so $60 is honestly a steal for this guy. So I'm super happy I got him, though, because he's awesome. All right, I'm going to start taking things out of the box. So first, we have one of his hands and arm. Here's a foot. I'm not taking this stuff out in any particular order. I'd also like to mention this is not what it originally looked like when I opened him up for the first time. It was packed very nicely. He's not packed super nicely right now because that's the way I put him back in the box. Right here we have one of his leg covers. Similar to the Grimm, he has poles and then plastic pieces that go over the poles for the legs. Here's another leg piece. This looks to be above his knee. Right here are the instructions and what looks like stakes. I don't remember him having ground stakes. And right here is another arm and hand. It's all attached. This one says right hand. Next thing I'm going to take out is the head. Here it is. So it's similar to the Grimm, but it's not the same, which I'm glad because I was kind of expecting his head to be exactly the same, but it's not. It is still life-size, but it is kind of small. It's around the size of a human head. I can't tell if it's a little smaller or if it's the right size, but it looks pretty good. Here we have his torso piece. This also has the mechanism that allows him to have his hip turn. Here are 2 more leg pieces. Here is his chest piece and his neck. This has the 2 mechanisms that allow his arms to move. And right in there is where his head will attach. And down here is where he will attach to his torso. Or not his, to his torso. That bottom part attaches to the torso. I remember it being very difficult to attach him for some reason. But hopefully it's not too hard when I set him up today. So here's his other foot. The next thing is the adapter. This is a pretty beefy adapter, similar to one you would expect from like a 12-foot prop. It looks very similar to the one on the Giant Death Ray. So this guy is SVI. That's why I was saying I expected it to be very similar to the Grimm. Alright, so over here we have his leg pulls. These are extremely small and thin. They're still high quality metal, and they're still heavy. They're just a lot smaller than the normal leg pulls that you would see on an SVI prop. Here are 2 more. And finally, we have his base. It's a pretty standard sized base. So his base is like a normal size. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit smaller when I first got him, but no, it's a normal size. So I am going to get all of these parts here laid out over there, and I'm going to show you what you guys should have in your box. All right, so all the parts are laid out here. So you should have his base, his head. There should be 4 leg covers. 2 of them are right here, and 2 of them are right there. They just go over his leg poles, similar to the Grim. Right here is his torso piece. Right here is a bag. This has ground stakes if you want to stake him in, and it also has a little wrench and some screws because this guy does have screws. Right here are his feet. Here are his leg poles. There's 4 of them. There are 2 ones with bends for knees, and there are 2 straight ones. Right here is his adapter. His arms are right here. I have both of them. His hands are attached to his arms, so those are all one piece. And right here we have the chest piece. This is by far the biggest piece out of all of them. And it's probably the most important as it has most of the mechanisms. Alright, now that I've shown you guys all the parts, I'm going to get to the setup. Alright, so obviously the first thing you're going to want to do is put his base in an unobstructed space so that you have room to set him up. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take his leg poles labeled B. There is 2 of them. They are exactly the same, and you're going to snap lock each of them into his legs. So one of them here, twist it around, and one of them on the other side. Next up, you're going to take both of his feet. There's the right foot and the left foot, and you're going to put it on the corresponding side. So the right foot is going to go on his right side right here. And the left foot is going to go on his left side over here. Okay, so your next step is going to be getting the pieces labeled E and F. They're going to look like this. They're your covers for the leg pulls. And you're going to attach each corresponding one to the correct foot. Okay, quick note, I realized my base was backwards, so I switched it around, and I also switched the feet. Alright, so now I'm going to put on these 2 pieces. Okay, so another quick note, both of my leg covers for the shins, both are labeled F, and they are both exactly the same. They are supposed to be different. So yours should fit better than mine, but my leg cover on the right side didn't really fit down there, and that's because it's the same as the one for the other side, and this one was supposed to be a different shape. It doesn't really matter because it still looks fine and it fits, but just be aware that yours will fit better than mine, and that mine is kind of goofed up because they sent me 2 of the same piece. Next, you will attach your G and H piece to the corresponding side of your prop. So I believe that G is on the left side, and H is on the right side. Okay, so after you attach both of your upper leg pieces, you're going to want to put on the leg covers that go above the knee. So they're labeled I and J, so I is going to go on the left, and J is going to go on the right side. After you've attached those 2 upper leg covers, the next thing you're going to want to go ahead and do is attach his torso piece right here. So it should look like this. It's a pretty big torso piece. This is probably the most difficult step of the entire setup. I remember it being extremely hard to get both of the snap locks in. So I'm going to try my best, and I will see you guys when I finish putting this part on. So it wasn't as hard as I thought it was to get this piece on, but it definitely is still the hardest step. So it's kind of hard to get the snap locks to line up, and it's just a little janky with the plastic pieces because they don't fit together that great. But it's fine. It's going to stay together now, and I am super happy that I got that done. So the next step is going to be attaching his big whole rib cage and chest plate piece, and I'll see you guys when I finish that. So a quick note here, these little connections here that you're going to need to attach before putting on this chest piece, these are extremely hard to get together. So my strategy is to line it all up and then just push and kind of wiggle them a little bit, and they seem to slide in a little easier. I have this put on my bed, this chest piece on my bed, because I can't get this thing in while holding this up. So I'm just going to do the other one, and then I will fully attach this, and then we will get on to the next step. All right, so another quick note, when you're sliding this piece on, the wires are going to seem to get in the way. There's a little compartment like kind of up in there that you can slide the like caps where you connect them, like the connection points, up into it, and it'll allow you to slide it on all the way. And then the wires will just kind of sit in there. So yeah, I'm going to get on to the next step. This is what it's looking like so far. We are almost done. The hardest parts are over. All right, so on to the next step. You will find in your bag 4 screws. You'll see them here, and 1 wrench. And there is a screw in the back of the prop right here in this hole, and you're going to need to put a screw in there and tighten it to hold on the torso piece. Now the screw you're going to use, you'll notice, is slightly bigger than the other one. So if I were to line all of these screws up like so, you'll notice that this one right here is slightly longer than them. That is the screw that you're going to want to use to attach the torso piece onto the rest of the body. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm finished. Alright, so right here is what the screw should look like. It's going to probably stick out a little bit, but as long as it feels secure, you can stop tightening. And now I'm going to move on to the next step, which I believe is the arms. Onto the arms. So right here we have the right arm. And so you're going to take this wrench again and just take any one of the small screws. And there's going to be a hole right here on the arm. And once you put the arm on, you are going to put this screw in that hole and tighten it using the wrench. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will show you guys when I'm finished. All right, so the arm is on. This is what it should look like. So I'm going to now go ahead and do the same thing for the other arm. The other arm is now on, so at this point the setup is nearing completion, and the last step is the head. So I'm going to get to that. Step, here is the head. You're going to need this. You're going to need the wrench again and the screw. So you're going to put on the head, and there is a hole right here that you're going to need to put the screw in, and you're also going to need to attach this wire. I don't know if there is a place to slide this little connection in after it's on, so I will show you when I'm done if there is, and if there isn't, I will also tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm finished. I did take a look, and there is a little compartment to slide this, so when you attach the head here, I have it leaned over because, again, I can't hold the head and get this in at the same time, as I need both hands to do so. So you're just going to slide it into that compartment as you put the head in, and then there is a screw hole on the back here that the screw is going to go in, so make sure that that screw hole and this screw hole on the back of the head are lined up before you put the screw in and crank it in. And then after that, there's really only one step left, which is to put in the adapter. So we are almost done. All right, so I have the adapter right here, and I'm just coming to plug it in. So as you can see, this thing is technically waterproof. It has the screw-on cover, so you just slide it in and screw it on. So I'm just tightening it right on. Okay, so that wasn't in all the way when I tried to tighten it, so it didn't go on. All right, but now it's on. Here's the volume control. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit, I think. Right here is the setting switch. I can't tell where the on and off is on that. And then here is the try me port, and this does have a rubber cover on it, which I'm going to close because I'm not going to be using that right now. I'm going to be using the sensor. So yeah, technically this thing is waterproof, which is really nice to know. So I can put this thing out in the rain, which is good because keeping him indoors for a long time and then putting him out a couple days before Halloween so that he doesn't get rained on is kind of annoying. Last step would just be to take these ground stakes and just hook them around the base and stake them in, but I'm not going to be doing that, obviously, because I am indoors. So now the setup is fully complete, so I'm going to move him back over there. I'll make some final adjustments, and when I plug him in, we will see the demo. So I'm going to show you guys his demo next. He has a ton of phrases, and they're all kind of long, so it's going to be probably a long demo, but feel free to skip ahead just to see my review because he has a lot of phrases. He talks a whole lot. So yeah, I'll see you guys either after the demo or at the demo.
Hush, do you hear that? Music to my ears. Ladies and gentlemen, you have wonderful tidings. It seems the slave spirits of Sleepy Hollow are floating this way. You could say they are proof that not all ghosts are harmless. You best run along and light a jack-o'-lantern. I heard they ward away evil spirits. Good luck. Halloween has been with us for hundreds of years. But one thing that never gets old, dehydrated eyeballs. I have some from 1956 that still taste the same. They are in a pocket somewhere. Would you like one? There was no worm in the last one I had. Salutations. Entering into this place is not for the faint of heart. Lucky for me, I lost my heart a while back. The zombie attack of 2010. Maybe you were just as lucky. For the rest of you, I suggest you stay grouped tightly. And for those traveling alone, it's time to find a trustworthy friend. For you don't know what mayhem is behind the next turn. Hey, good to see you all in one piece. There was a werewolf prowling around. I thought I might have found you. They travel by scent, you know, so you might want to cut down on the aftershave. Enjoy yourself tonight. Just keep an eye out. They like to sneak up from behind. Ah, here he comes now.
So there he was, the 5-foot animated skeleton from Joan Fabrics. So overall, this thing is awesome. So now I'm going to get into the review segment of this video, and I'm just going to give you guys some of my opinions. So I want to start off by saying that I'm super happy this guy doesn't have the same face as the Grimm. A lot of props reused the same face sculpt, and it was kind of getting old, so I'm glad that he has an all-new one. Another thing that I really, really, really love about him is his phrasing. He has super long phrasing, and I just love the things he says. I think it's really funny, and I don't know, he just has some of the best phrases on any prop. He's going to go great at the front of my haunt just because of those phrases. I think it'll make a great greeter. I also really like his look. He's pretty detailed. He has a decent paint job. There's like some little black paint like splotches on his bones and stuff, and it just makes it look, you know, very detailed and a little weathered, and I really like that about him. Things I don't like about him are his obvious wires. So you can kind of see them in there. Those are ones that are already connected when you get him, even though they could technically come apart. But there's really nowhere to put them so that you can't see them. And it's really annoying because, you know, you can obviously see them. Not so much at night because they're, well, black, so they blend in with the darkness, but they just, in the light, it just does not look good. And you can see them very easily, which I don't like. Another thing I don't like is that he seems a little bit wobbly. When he moves around, he seems to, like his whole base and everything just seems to wobble. He's leaning a little to the right. You can't really tell on camera, but he is. And it's a little annoying, but I think mainly that's just because he's not staked into the ground. So once I stake him in, those problems should disappear. One thing that's kind of interesting about him are his LED eyes. They are blue, which I really like, but they're really, really, really bright. As you can see in my dark demo video that you guys just saw, you can like see the lights reflecting on the walls, and they are like headlights. They are extremely bright. I don't really know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't really matter to me. It's just something interesting. They are a lot brighter than any other LEDs on a prop that I have seen ever before. And so that's kind of a cool little thing about him. I don't know. So yeah, overall though, I really like him. I think he's awesome. Dare I say better than the Grim, at least phrasing wise, for sure. But he is really cool, and I would definitely recommend that you get him. All right, so thank you guys all so much for watching. I am going to be making a full collection video at some point this summer. I was hoping to do it like 2 weeks ago, but it just kept raining or being like way too hot, and I was afraid the latex was gonna melt, so I decided not to do it. So hopefully more towards the beginning of fall I'll have that video out. I'm also gonna be starting haunt builds soon, mainly just building some signs for different areas of the haunt, and maybe even doing a video where I show you guys where everything is gonna go. But yeah, I'm also going to be doing hopefully an unboxing soon of a brand new for 2025 prop. So comment which prop you think I should get. I might even wait till spirit props come out just so I can see all of them, like instead of just the ones, like the 5 ones that were released early. So I might wait for those to come out to get one, but I'm kind of leaning towards a couple of props from Lowe's that I mentioned earlier, the vintage Peekaboo Clown and the Timekeeper. So I don't know, just comment which prop you think I should unbox and I'll take it into consideration. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be doing hopefully a lot more content soon. I know that there's like a bunch of, sometimes there's weeks between videos, and I'm hoping that I'm going to upload more consistently in about 2 weeks, because I'm going to start making haunt build videos then. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next videos. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, like the video and subscribe. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.